Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to This Week in Film. This is episode 1, and we'll be talking about news, box office, and what I'm watching this week, and what movies are coming out. This is a new show I'm starting. I appreciate the support. If you could go leave a comment, any changes you'd like to the show, leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start off with news. For news, we got Captain America Brave New World adds Giancarlo Esposito to play a villain role. So, a few weeks ago, Giancarlo Esposito was at a fan convention, and he said that he would be in the MCU and be introduced in one movie, and then or be teased at in a movie, and then get his own series later on. And then a lot of people were fan casting him as Professor X, Magneto, or Doctor Doom, but those have pretty much all been debunked, and he is going to be in Captain America Brave New World, and there was actually set photos released of Captain America Brave New World that they're doing reshoots right now, and some set photos were taken, and I'll pop one of those up on the screen right now. This is Giancarlo Esposito's character. He is going to be a villain in this movie. We don't know who he is yet, but he's going to be getting his own series after this. Now, we know he's not the main villain because Thaddeus Ross, or Thunderbolt Ross, is going to be Red Hulk in that movie, and he's going to be the main villain. But Giancarlo Esposito is going to be a side villain, probably, and just be in the film for a little bit. Alright, next we have another piece of news about Captain America Brave New World. It was rumored probably about a year ago, maybe less than that. Probably like 6 months ago. Captain America Brave New World early test screenings were doing horribly. It was a very bad movie. So they went back, and it was rumored that they had to do 6 months of reshoots, but that is actually not true. They're only doing 22 days, which is about average for a movie. So I'm glad to see that Captain America Brave New World isn't going through a complete redo. It's just getting a few weeks of reshoots that should add Giancarlo Esposito's character in it, like we just talked about. And yeah. Next, The Acolyte, new Disney Plus Star Wars series that takes place 100 years before The Phantom Menace. This series comes out June 4th, which is tomorrow, and some new information has been released about that show. The budget. Okay, so the budget for this show, there's going to be 8 episodes, or 8 or 9, I'm pretty sure. And it has a budget of $180 million, which is quite insane for this show, considering it is double the budget of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Kenobi series that aired on Disney Plus in 2022. It was a disappointment by most people. I thought it was okay, but most people didn't like it, and this show has twice the budget, and Kenobi already looked pretty good with only 90 million, and this has 180, so we'll see how that turns out for the show. Next up in news, Wolves drops a new trailer. It is a action adventure, comedy, thriller type movie starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt. They just dropped their first trailer. It looks quite good. Yeah. Originally the plot synopsis for this movie said that it would be that these two were wolf breeders, but it doesn't look like that from the contents of the trailer. Next up, Venom 3, Venom The Last Dance. The plot synopsis was revealed for that movie, and it says that, unfortunately, well, we're finally going to be getting Spider-Man in the Venom movies, on the third one, and he's going to be 10 years old. The plot synopsis says that Venom goes into his hive mind, the multiversal hive mind, and sees in the future that him and Eddie Brock are going to be killed by a Peter Parker Spider-Man. So they go after and try to kill him, and they find out he's only 10 years old. And then there's a symbiote villain, and a bunch of other stuff happens. If I can be honest with you guys, this does not seem like it's going to be great or anything special. I'm just, I don't know, waiting for this movie to come out and be bad and just go away. I hope this and Craven are the end of the Sony Spider-Man franchise that don't include Spider-Man, but we'll have to wait and see. What do you guys think of this plot synopsis? And that's all for news. Alright, so we have the weekend box office here. I will be using estimates because the show comes out on Monday. So I'm going to give you the top 5 movies of this weekend. So we have the Garfield movie at number 1. It has a $14 million domestic weekend, which is a 42% drop from last weekend. It was already pretty bad. It has $51 million total and domestically, and $152 million worldwide, which is okay. Then in second place, we have Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga Weekend 2 that made $10.75 million domestically, with a 59% drop from last weekend. Only a 59.6 domestic total so far, and 114 million worldwide total. Some other movies, or actually we had If in second place this weekend with 10.8 million, barely pushing past Furiosa. It's doing pretty good with a 49 million domestically. And then next in fourth place, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes that got another $10.75 million. Pretty good. Oh no, $8.8 million, my bad. And it has 139 so far. Pretty good. The box office right now hasn't been doing too good. We have movies like Furiosa and Garfield that were supposed to make a bunch of money that just didn't, and The Fall Guy too really underperformed. But in fifth place, The Fall Guy is still there, 4.2 million, 30% since last weekend, and only at $8 million total. See if it can pass 100. And ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the end of the box office. Let's move on to what I've been watching this week. This week I've watched quite a lot of stuff now that I don't have much to do in the summer. I have watched Baby Reindeer, Baby Reindeer, Eric. I've watched Blended, Adam Sandler comedy, Me Time, Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg, and we're gonna dive into reviews for all those. Yeah. And I've also rewatched Loki Season 2, so we'll hit with that real quick. I watched Loki Season 2 for a second time, and it was, I don't know, I remember it being very good, and it still is very good. I don't know if it's better or worse. I'd say it's about the same as the first time I watched it. Very entertaining and thrilling. You don't know what's going to happen next. And the ending was very surprising. And yeah. Alright, so next let's move on to Me Time. If you don't know what this is a 2022 comedy movie with Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg. That, it's basically about these two friends going on a trip and reconnecting after all this time, and some crazy stuff happens. I'd say this movie it's not great. It's alright. I would give it probably a 3 out of 10. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's just another ordinary comedy that's just fine. Next, let's move on to Baby Reindeer. Finally watched this series after lots of reviews, hearing it is great and entertaining and thrilling. I'm here to tell you that it is. The whole way you're on the edge of your seat, you don't know what's going to happen next. And it's really, how do I say this? At times, there's things the characters do that you don't want them to do, and you're just frustrated with the characters' actions, and that happens sometimes in other movies, and it definitely happened in this show. Baby Reindeer, I would say, is a 8 out of 10. It is a thrilling, dark comedy, and yeah, it's based off true events, so yeah, pretty good. 8 out of 10. Next, let's review Blended. This is a comedy with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. It's kind of a romance comedy. I'm not going to spend much time on this. Probably none of you care about this, so I'm just going to say my score. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's not great. It's not horrible. There's some heart. So, yeah, it's pretty good. 6 out of 10. Next, we're going to review Eric. Eric is a new show, just came out, about Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Doctor Strange, and is in The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. He's also in The Invitation Game. And he has a very good performance in this show. It's also probably a dark comedy with thrilling moments at times. This show it's only 6 episodes. It's a limited series, but it's good. It's about Vincent, who's played by Benedict Cumberbatch. He works at this children's show company that he created with his best friend, and it's kind of like Elmo, but one day his kid goes missing, and he drew a puppet before he left, and he makes his puppet on the show to try to make him come home, and some other stuff is happening along the way, and it's a very good and thrilling show. I'd say 8 out of 10. And that's it for all my reviews of movies and shows that I've been watching this past week. Let's move on to what movies are coming out this next week in theaters. Alright, so what movies are coming out this week in theaters and on streaming? So we've got in theaters this weekend, we have 2 major movies coming out. The Watchers, which is directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. It looks pretty good. I won't have a review of it next week, but I will watch it eventually. Yeah. Next we have Bad Boys Ride or Die. This movie looks okay. I'm not gonna be watching this one either, but I may eventually have it and watch it and have a review here on the channel. But yeah, next we got Hitman, the Glen Powell action movie. Comes on Netflix June 7th. I will be watching this one. This one looks very good. I'll have a review of that next week. So, what should you be expecting from this channel going forward? So, next week, we should have reviews for Hitman, Blade Runner 2049, maybe, Godzilla Minus One. I'm gonna be watching that, and the show might be later next week. I'll be on vacation. I may be home in time to get it back on Monday, but it may be later than that. And there may be something else that pops up that I'll watch and review here on the channel next week. This show, I'll do it for a few weeks, see if it's doing good, see if you guys like it, and then maybe continue doing it. So, with that, that's the whole show. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and goodbye.